Make or do. Yes, dear friends, this is a critical thing where we get confused. Most of us get confused when to use make, when to use do, when we should not use do, when we should not use make, right? Make a decision or do a decision. So it's confusing that we should use make or we should use do, right? Because native speakers never makes these mistakes. Whereas if I and you make some mistake, definitely everyone can understand that we are new to this English language or we are just beginners. So dear friends, it is good to understand when to use, when to use do, when to use make, and when you should not use this do or make. Alright? And one more thing I would like to make you clear that do is being an auxiliary verb. Today I am not going to teach you about this auxiliary verb, right? I am not going to teach you about auxiliary verbs do. Here I am going to just differentiate between do and make, or when to use do, when you should not use do, and when you should use make or when you should not use make. Alright, so make it clear that it is not an auxiliary verb class. Alright, now coming to do and make, first of all we should understand the difference between this do and make. Make basically we use for the word where we create something new, right? There is nothing is there and we are creating. For example, I have to make tea. I need to make tea. So making tea, we use here make because there is no tea existing at present and now I am just creating that. That's why I am using I make tea or I will make tea, I make tea, I have to make tea, whatever it is, I am going to use make. I am not using do. Alright? I use do for I need to do my homework. If I am a student, I use I need to do my homework. That means this is here a repetitive work. That means I am a student. If I am a student, I need to do my homework every day. It's a repetitive. So it's an obligation that I have to do. I need to do this. It's compulsory. So it's an obligation for me. So one thing we understood, if it is a repetitive, it's an obligation, as well as another thing, we should remember that we use it for replacing words or even multiple verbs. Alright? How to use that? I'm going to tell you now. You say I do a cake or I make a cake. What do you say? I do a cake or I make a cake. Dear friends, if an action is repetitive, something you do on a regular basis, we are going to use the verb do. As I said, if something is repetitive, we use do, which is an obligation. An obligation might be something like I need to do my homework. That is everyday basis I am going to do this homework, right? And this is for a student. And secondly, for multiple actions we use this. For example, if I say I do the dishes. I do the dishes, that is we do it every day. That means it is repetitive as well as it is an obligation. For example, I said I I do the dishes. That means I am going to wash the dishes. I am going to wipe the dishes. That means dry the dishes, and I am going to arrange the dishes. So for all these three things, I would just say I do the dishes. This is an obligation for me. I need to do it every day. It's compulsory and it's also repetitive because we are doing it every day. Alright. So similar to multiple actions. There are multiple actions, whereas we use only one word, do. I do the dishes. And this do can also be used as replacement verb. We can use the verb to do to replace another verb. Like, hey, I got to do my hair now. That means fixing. That is, you need to do something with your hair. That might be you need to cut your hair, you need to wash your hair, or you might need to dye your hair. Right? So, I just say I got to do my hair. And similarly, I got to do my nails. That means I need to cut my nails. Might be I need to clean my nails. Might be I need to polish my nails. So, do replaces with multiple verbs. So, let us understand make. So, you understood do. Now, let us understand make. Make is to create. When you create something, creation comes from where it does not exist, right? You create. That is making. Now, we create means we need to do something new. When you are doing your exercise, you do not need to say, I will make exercise. I made exercise. No, dear friends. Exercise is actually a verb, right? Exercise is actually a verb. You no need to use anything for that. So you can say, I exercised yesterday. I will exercise tomorrow. I exercise daily. That's all you can say. Whereas, if something part of this exercise, for example, push-ups. If you say push-up, then you can say that I am going to do 100 push-ups. You can use do because push-up is a noun, and when you want to use these push-ups, you need to use one verb. For that, you can use do, not make. You are not creating something. You are just doing this regular work. So you just say that I am going to do 100 push-ups today, or I did 100 push-ups, whatever it is. You can use the verb do. We don't say I make push-ups. We use the verb do. You don't use make. I do push-ups, or I did push-ups, or I will do push-ups. You can say I do exercise. I did exercise. Yes, here also you can use do. Whereas exercise itself is being a verb, we no need to use anything for that. Alright. Push-up is noun, so we definitely need a verb for that. For that we use do, and you say I do push-ups and I did push-ups in the past tense. And there is no need of any verb for exercise. If you want, you can use do, not make. Next, homework. I said homework, right? If you are a student, you say I do my homework. Dear friends, is it do homework or make homework? For a student, it is do homework. You cannot make homework. For a student, you do your test. You cannot make your test. And if you are a student, you do your homework or you do your test, right? And coming to a teacher, you make homework and you make tests because you create that, you prepare that. Alright? So when you prepare that, create that, you are going to make it. Because make is to create. And you create the test, you create the homework, you make the test as a teacher, and you do the test as a student. Right? Alright? If you are a student, you do the test. So, if you are a teacher, you make the test, you make the homework, and your student will do the homework. Alright? Clear? That's fine. Any doubt? You can just comment and let me know. Right? So, dear friends, we make choices. We make a decision. And here, interesting part and confusing part is that we make friends, but we don't make boyfriend or girlfriend. Have you ever heard, I make boyfriend, I make girlfriend? No. We make friends. I make a friend, you make a friend, but whenever it comes to boyfriend and girlfriend, we don't say, I make a boyfriend, I make a girlfriend, right? It's quite confusing because it is English, and English is confusing. If you need help, you can join my sessions. Click the link and join my sessions and remove all your confusions. So, dear friends, there are some exceptions. There are some exceptions that we should understand in English. What are the exceptions? When I said this, making boyfriend, girlfriend, we don't say that. And one more thing, even though we don't create here, we use the word make. That is, any guess? Any guess where we don't create, though we use the word make? I make my bed. You make your bed. Dear friends, we are not creating bed here. We are not going to create any bed, right? Even then, if you don't create, even then you are using make. We make our bed. Really, this doesn't make any sense because make is basically to create. We just arrange the bed, right? For that we say that make the bed. And we make the cake. Alright, this is correct. You make a cake, it's fine. Because you add so many things, eggs, flour, you make a dough, and you create something there, right? Then you can say, okay, I make a cake, or I made a cake, you make a cake. It's fine. You created something. Whereas for bed, you are not creating anything. Just you are making it to look good, right? For that, but whereas you need to use there, make your bed. Alright? We can use make food for preparing food, right? We are preparing food and we say, I make food. I will make my dinner. That means we prepare that, we cook that, we create something in that, right? Then we can use that. When you create, we can use make. Okay? First we make it, we cook it, we prepare it, then we eat it. Yes, that's the best part. Eating is the best part. For eating, what we say, have. We have our lunch, we have our breakfast, right? Done. Now, I said that one exception, that is making the bed. That is one exception. Next, we are going for presentation. Do a presentation or make a presentation. You can make a presentation. This means, what is making a presentation? You are collecting the information and you are actually writing few sentences, that is making a preparation. Next day you are going to do the presentation. When you are preparing the presentation, you say, I make a presentation. I make a presentation. When you are presenting that in front of many people, then you say, I do the presentation. Alright? So here do is the result, make is the origin. Make is the beginning and do is the result. You can understand it that way. So making a presentation, when you collecting information and doing something, that means you are creating something. Alright? So you are creating something, that is making. Make a presentation. And at the end you are presenting that. That is called you are doing a presentation. So do is here end part. Make is starting point. You can understand like that. So this is all about make and do. So make is to create. That's the starting point, what I said. And do can be like it's an ending point or it's a repetitive task. It's an obligation, as well as it can also be used as a replacing verb. As well as do can be used as single verb for multiple verbs. As I said, doing the dish, right? Multiple verbs, it is, we can change it to a single verb. Dear friends, if you are still confused, don't get confused. You can join my sessions. Link is there in the description as well as in the bio. You can just click on that and get into my sessions. As well as subscribe the channel so that you can get much more valued such videos. So click the subscribe button and like and share with others. Because when you share with others, not only you will learn, others also will learn. And when you like or comment, I can understand that how much you got it or what all other contents I need to do it. Alright? Dear friends, that's all for today. This is Rani D'Souza, an author and India's first authority building my mentor, signing off. See you in the next session. Don't forget to subscribe the channel, like the channel and share the video.
Isn't life so amazing? Sometimes it can get crazy, but hey, that's okay. We've got another day to make mistakes and say sorry. There's no sense in our worry, 'cause all we